Hello scientists, we have been learning about matter and I am all ready today to do a science experiment with you. I've got my goggles, which I really don't need and I can't see through, so I'm going to put them up here. I've got my fancy science jacket, which is way too small because it belongs to like a 10-year-old, so I'm actually going to take it off. We're not going to be working too much with gases or anything crazy today, so you don't need any of that stuff. I just thought it looked cool. Now, we have been talking about matter, and matter is just the fancy science word for everything all around us. Okay? Everything is made up of matter. Now, when we break down that matter and we get those small little pieces that you can only see with a microscope, we get molecules. Right? We've talked about it, the M word, molecules. Now, I've showed you this lots. This is a water molecule called H2O. Okay? The reason we call it H2O is because there's two H's and one O. This is a molecule right here. And when we break down that molecule even smaller, that's when we get that A word that we've learned. What is that A word we've learned? Really small, the smallest building blocks are atoms. Atoms are the smallest building blocks. And the atom is just the one part. And you might wonder why. Why is there an O? Why is there an H? It just stands for different things. This one, O, stands for oxygen, which you've heard of. That is what we breathe in all the time. Okay? And the H stands for hydrogen. Those you'll learn in high school science. Right now you just need to know that atoms are a small building block, and when you put those together, you get molecules. Now, we're going to be working with that white substance inside your bag. And I know you've been wondering what's in there. And it's called borax. It comes in a box like this. And it's just kind of a neat substance. And it can be used for science experiments because, well, let me show you. It looks like this. This is what borax looks like in the science terms. Okay, it's got a whole bunch of oxygens, and all of these are connected here by little bonds. So it's a little fancier than a water molecule. This is a borax molecule. Okay, and it is it's slightly bigger, and it's got more bonds. Bonds are what's in between. Bond is like a link in between the different atoms. Okay, now we're going to be mixing borax with a few things. Well, one thing we're going to mix it with is, what is this? What is this? It's water. We're going to be mixing these two things together. And when you do that in science, when you mix two chemicals together, and you do it in baking, what happens is these bonds, they break apart and they make new bonds. And different molecules will bond in different ways. Sometimes they don't even bond. They just repel. Okay, but these will bond, they'll mix, they'll break down. So when you'll see what happens when we mix the borax with the water. Okay, let's just get started, shall we? You need, for this experiment, that white powder that I gave you. You also need glue, which I didn't include, and your parents will have to buy. I only told them yesterday about it, so if you don't have runny glue at home, you'll just have to watch this video and then wait and do it later. Okay, the runny glue is in a container that looks like this. I had to cut mine open to get the glue out. All right, you will need a measuring cup because you have to measure half cups. So your mom's probably got a cup somewhere that says half a cup. Take that one, the half cup measure. You're going to need hot water, and you're going to need some containers. Okay, I'll put that in the instructions, but just so you know, this is what it looks like. This is what you need. What you're going to do to start is mix half a cup of glue with half a cup of hot water. Now, this doesn't have to be boiling water. This can just be hot water from the tap. Let it run for a little while. Okay, so half a cup of glue, which I already did. Took me forever to get it all out. Half a cup of glue with half a cup of hot water. And this is what I got. It's like an interesting looking mixture. You can use your hands to kind of mix it around, or a spoon, whatever you want. And you'll notice that well, you won't see the bonds breaking, but what's happening is some of the bonds in the glue are breaking down, and they're making way for those water molecules. Okay, but right now, nothing new is forming. There's no gas, there's no new substance. It's just kind of mixing it together. All right, you can pause this video at any time if you need to. In another container, you're going to mix 2 tablespoons of borax with 1 cup of hot water. Okay, so half a cup plus half a cup is 1 cup. So you can do 1 cup of water. So half and a half. Okay, and 2 tablespoons of borax is what I gave you. So you actually don't have to measure that part. You can just pour the borax in. Now, remember those 2 pictures I showed you. You're mixing 2 different types of molecules, and you're going to see that the borax, it starts to break apart and go into the water. So bonds are breaking. We can just imagine it happening. We can't see the bonds breaking. Okay, so mix half a cup of glue, half a cup of hot water, 2 tablespoons of borax, 1 cup of hot water. Slowly pour in borax mix and use your hands to squish. Okay. So we are going to slowly pour this mix, which is my borax and water, in with the glue. Okay, now what will happen is you're going to have lots of liquid left over, but in the middle you should be able to push all that substance together to create some slime. So there'll be some extra water that you'll put off to the side, and you'll get a ball of slime that's made. Now, many of you have probably made slime before. This is a popular thing. And if you have, you'll know you can mix in a little bit of food coloring, you can mix in some sparkles, or whatever you'd like to make it more fun. Right now, I just have a white blob of slime. And if I want this slime to stay slimy, I need to keep it in a sealed container. Okay? And in this activity, once you've done this, I'm going to ask you a couple questions in the next slide, then I want you to answer those. Okay, but in the meantime, just play around, have fun with your slime for now, and show me a picture of what it looks like. Maybe our slimes will turn out a little bit different based on how much substance we have. Now, sometimes your hand gets sticky with the glue, and that's when you can put it back in the bowl of water, okay, and kind of mix it again, kind of push it together again. Okay, so I like to keep the bowl of water handy just in case I need it. All right, have fun. Show me some pictures of what you got and then answer the questions. Gooey hands.